Okay, we are live, y'all. We are here. You already know we are here on this beautiful Thursday evening for Exposed Weekly. And this week, we are going into episode 23. How unreal is that, guys? I know I say it every single week, but I am just so pumped about this. I get excited every single time that we come on here because we are always meeting someone new. We are always learning new things about our amazing community members and our amazing community leaders, guys. And I am just so excited to chat with our next guest. If you guys have checked out our posts, you already know who that is. But if not, I'm going to let you guys wait a little bit longer because you already know if you've been on here before, we got to do a little bit of housekeeping. First things first, if you don't know who I am a Daisy and I'm going to be your host for tonight. Guys, I am also the founder of Exposed. Um, we have been doing this thing for almost 4 years. So it is super exciting. Um, and I'm really just excited about all the things that we have been able to do with our community and just seeing our community flourish. Because when we started, like, we were definitely not where we are today, okay? Our community is popping. And y'all, I hope you guys got out to some incredible events that happened this summer because, guys, there's some great things happening, okay? But let me do a little bit of housekeeping. Like I said, I know you guys are like, just get to the guest. I'm too excited. I know I'm excited too, guys, but I have to do the housekeeping. So first things first, guys, if you're wanting to get involved and you want to come on Expose Weekly, you guys can always DM us. You guys can send us an email because we would love to come on, have you come on here and share what you are doing. Because there's so many things that are happening in our community and you guys are so awesome. Like even just the people who are tapped in right now, like incredible. We have Natalie, who is an incredible artist. We have Classic Seafood. We have Selassie, like incredible musician. And then we have Arlo, guys. I'm I'm not no. If you guys haven't seen the post, then I'm gonna keep quiet. But guys, tomorrow tomorrow is Friday. So if you don't know what that means, it means we have Featured Friday. So if you guys are wanting to be featured on our page, you want to share what you have going on, you have a new release, you have an event coming up, or just you want to share who you are, DM us, email us at exposeyg@gmail.com because we want to hear from you and we want to share the amazing things that you're doing with the community, okay? And also tomorrow is Fresh Friday. So if you have a post out that you want us to share, you have an event going on, please send it our way and we will post it on our story tomorrow because we want to help get the word out because we know how much work goes into the projects you do, the events, just everything. And we want to make sure that we can help with that outreach as much as we can. Okay, let me check, y'all. Let me make sure. Oh, you guys are probably like, whoa, that's a really dope sweater. I don't know about y'all, but this weather, I'm cold all the time, okay? And I know it's still beautiful out, but I'm freezing, y'all. I'm freezing. I've had my heater on all day. I've had a blanket around me all day, and I'm still cold. But in my La Connection L hoodie, I am toasty. Okay, y'all. So guys, if you did not see our post, then I'm going to let you know who our guest for episode 23 of Exposed Weekly is. We are having Arlo Maverick come on here. And y'all, I can't even get started at how incredible this man is. Like, guys, I'm not even kidding. Like, he is a rapper, he is a grant writer, he is a mentor. Like, he is an incredible community leader, and he has been doing this for a minute. Like, y'all, I am so excited to just dive deeper to learn more about who he is, what he does, his story, and all that good stuff. And just so you guys know, just being here is an honor because this guest is incredible. Okay. I know you guys are like, just be quiet and bring him on. Okay, guys, It's happening. It's happening. Let's do this. Okay, let me get us up here. Okay. There we go. We are connected with YouTube. Oh, I think you're muted.
Okay.
There
All
you
right.
go. Perfect. How are you, Arlo?
Not bad, not bad. So I've got Instagram on my phone going, and I've got this going on my laptop as well too. Should I turn one of them down so we don't get any feedback?
Yeah, you could probably mute the computer one.
Okay.
The computer one is just so our recording. It records like the audio and stuff like that. So then we can put it up on our podcast. But the one that people watch mostly is the Instagram one.
Okay. Okay. So as long as I turn my volume down on that, we should be good. Okay.
We are eliminating the technical difficulties, y'all.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect.
So
Perfect.
how are you? How is your day going so far?
I'm good. I'm good. It's been a busy year to start. So yeah, just trying to maintain, trying to maintain. But it's been a good day. It's been a productive day.
No,
And how's your
I
day?
was right. No, I don't know why I can't hear. That is weird. That is very
Hear me
weird,
now?
guys. I might, maybe if I go like this, I can. Let me try him. I'll try these guys. You know, like I said always, what is an Exposed Weekly episode without technical difficulties, you know, on my end? And my paper is going everywhere.
Y'all can't hear. Oh shoot.
Okay. I can hear.
Okay. You can hear me?
Yeah, we are good. Can you guys hear? Oh, so I don't think. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear anyone?
Can you guys hear me? 1 2 1 2.
Whoever's in the room, do you mind commenting? I'm like, I hear it on the StreamYard. So maybe it wasn't my headphones.
I'm assuming they can hear us.
Okay, they can hear. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh, they can't hear you.
They can't hear me. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's figure this out here still. Is
it maybe the positioning of your phone?
Uh,
Sometimes if the speaker.
No. Shoot. No, because I'm going through the headsets. You guys should be able to hear me. But let me take them out and see if that might actually work better. Can you guys hear me now?
Let's see.
He's muted. Okay. That's weird. Can you guys hear me now?
Let me see. Okay, wait. Try talking again.
1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Yo.
Okay.
Yo.
I hear you. I hear you.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay, guys.
Just go without the headphones.
We good. We good.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, guys. So, like I said, we are here with Arlo Maverick for episode 23 of Exposed Weekly. Arlo, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Well, I am. It's hard to just call me one thing, and I'm not saying that to be egotistical in the sense that I've always been the type of person who's tried to be involved in all aspects of the idea of being creative, I guess you could say. More recently, I've been diving into filmmaking, but everything from being a hip hop MC to being a former radio DJ at CJSR to being on the rap advisory committee for the Junos to sitting on the board for Alberta Music to being a grant writer to being a journalist at one point in time, writing for C Magazine and the Nate Nugget when I was a student at Nate. I'm a marketing graduate from Nate, so my background is in marketing. I've mentored a lot of artists and just young people in the city. And also member of Politic Live, Edmonton Hip Hop Group.
Okay.
yeah, so just a lot of things.
No, honestly, when I was reading what you sent over to us, I was like, oh my goodness, like I knew you did a lot, but I
Yeah.
did not know that you did that. Like, I'm like, I don't know how he does it all. But honestly, all you do in the community is incredible, and your drive is unreal. And it just got me even more excited to come on here and chat with you and just really deep dive into all that you're about, because you have honestly done incredible things. You are continuously doing incredible things, and like, yeah, any way that we can support you, like we got
Yeah.
to do it, because this is a huge community leader here, guys. Okay.
Okay. Oh shoot. Sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm kind of looking at both screens at the same time,
That's
but I'm not
okay.
doing that
That's
now.
okay. Don't even worry. The computer
So
like
anybody on
video
Facebook,
isn't
I
that
apologize.
important.
Okay. But shout out to some of the people in the room right now. Just Mo is there. Mo, an artist who I have so much appreciation for and love what he's doing. He's one of the future leaders and future stars of the city here as well
Okay.
too. Shouts out to my homegirl Jackie, who's in here, who's been a long time supporter of Edmonton's just music scene as a whole. So I'm not sure who else is in here, but I definitely want to give those two a shout out since I just saw them come up and give me my flowers. So I appreciate that, you know?
No, on it. That's incredible. Like everybody go and follow everybody in the room, and if you haven't already, make sure that you guys go and follow Arlo. Guys, don't worry. We're going to post this after, so you'll also get a chance to do that then. So my first question for you is about you being an artist. What would you say is your favorite part of being an artist? Because I know you've been doing it for a minute.
Yes. My favorite part, I think, is just connecting with other artists. One thing that you'll notice with a lot of the things that I do is that collaboration is a big part of what I do. Shouts out to Rena Gandhi. Collaboration is a big part of what I do when it comes to creating. So whether it's if you look at the Politic Lab albums, if you look at the Arlo Maverick albums or the Mahogany Public or anything like that, a lot of times I'm reaching out to other artists and connecting with them for multiple reasons. One is to learn from them and see what their creative process is like, and also to share my creative process with them and allow them to learn from me, but also to build community. Because to me, like, when we foster a community, so many great things can happen. And within Edmonton, I try to play an active role to make sure that does take place, because the biggest thing is that we have this great city that has all this talent, whether we look at it from the aspect of music to dance to fine arts. Like in the back, I got a painting from Keon. There's so many great things that are happening within our city. But until we start purposely and intentionally working together and supporting each other and uplifting one another, then we can build a community. And for me, like, again, one of the things I love about the arts community here is that we are connecting with each other now. We are seeing that there is no disadvantage to us working together, but benefits to us working together. Shouts out to Michelle Todd, who's in the building, someone who I've had the opportunity to work with. Sorry, whenever I see people that I haven't seen in a while, I just
don't worry.
Michelle Todd, you know, an amazing actress and director and community builder.
There we go. Just got a call, guys. Sorry. Like, honestly, that no one wants to call me until I do this. But no, like, I completely agree with you, because I feel like even like 4 years ago, there was hesitance with artists and stuff. Like, should we collaborate? How do we even connect with each other? Like, is it okay? Like, you know, but now it's like we realize how much like growth there is here, how much potential there is, and that there is literally enough for every single one of us to be successful. And when we actually come together as one, we're able to accomplish so much more. So it's been such a beautiful thing to see our community grow as much as it has in these last few years. And it's just so amazing to be a part of it. especially as an artist, but I'm like, you are tapped into so many different fields. So I'm sure like how you're seeing it is even on a greater scale because you're connected into so many different sectors of the different industries. As an artist, I'll first ask you, as an artist, what is your favorite creation to date?
My favorite creation to date. Wow.
I know it's a hard question.
um, my favorite creation to date would have to be the last Politic Lab album called Ellipsis. That was a labor of love that that to me, like, just brought so much together in the sense of like, and I think every artist in the room can relate to this in the sense that when you feel you finally hit your stride and like everything like that you've practiced and rehearsed and so on and so forth and worked on just starts to come together, and it's just like the light bulbs are going off and so on and so forth. So that's probably the project that I've been a part of that I'm probably the most proud of, and every project has done something different for me, and has allowed me to reach different heights. But there's something special about that moment, and it's weird still because like as music artists, the first project we do is often us kind of just like discovering ourselves and so on and so forth. Second album is like, okay, we catch a little bit of buzz off of what we were able to do with the first one if we market it properly. So the third one is where we kind of come into our own in the sense of, okay, there's that maturity, but then there's also the savviness of like, how do you actually create a project, because you learn so much from that journey. And so for me, that's the reason why that's probably the one that I'm the most proud of. And obviously maybe Tomorrow is up there because that was just my opportunity to just be a conceptual artist. But yeah, just some of the topics we approached, the team that we pulled together as far as creating the production of it, like it was a magical moment. And what's crazy about it is that we're now celebrating 10 years of it being out, and I'm remembering anniversaries for projects. So for those who haven't had a chance to check it out. Amazing project, celebrating 10 years this technically this September, but the album was released in the June of that year. So yeah.
That is incredible. And guys, do not worry. We will put it down below after so you guys can go and listen to it, check it out, because I definitely want to tap in and check it all out, because I was like, I didn't even know, like, I just knew Arlo Maverick as, you know, Arlo. So I didn't really realize that, you know, the different groups that you've been a part of and all that stuff. So that is super incredible. And I definitely understand what you mean by like when you first come out of an artist, as an artist, you're really just trying to navigate and be like, okay, how do I do this? Like, what is really my sound? Because really your sound that you first come out with, you think that it's your sound, but the more that you actually get to like be in situations where you're comfortable and you can just create authentically, that's when you truly find, you know, your sound, who you are as an artist, what your flow is, all that good stuff. Because as an artist myself, like I feel like I'm just getting there, where I'm like, okay, you know, I was making music like this, but I just discovered like this is exactly what I've been looking for, and I couldn't necessarily find it. But now that I've, you know, gone through a few different releases, I've put myself in different environments, I'm like, okay, this is where I actually feel comfortable. This is where I know that I can really reach new heights. And so I definitely understand that. And like you said, I'm pretty sure a lot of artists can understand that and stuff.
But just to add to that point there, I think that as artists, we have to give ourselves the opportunity to get to a second or third or fourth album, because a lot of times we focus so much on trying to create the perfect debut to the point that we never actually do a follow-up, and sometimes we get discouraged by, well, it hasn't done this or hasn't done that. And at the end of the day, like, while it is great to get validation, it's great to get chart activity, it's great to get awards, it's great to get nominations, it's great to do get critical acclaim, and all of these things are things that I've been fortunate to get. But at the same time, though, regardless of whether they've come or not, I've still created and pushed on. And because I continue to push on and put myself in rooms and environments where I'm meeting new creatives, it's allowed me to grow as an artist and allowed me to find my voice. Because sometimes when we look at the finished product of a Jay-Z album or a Drake album or a Kalani album, whatever the case may be, we're not seeing that process. But when you're in the studio and you're working with someone, trying to figure out a chord progression or trying to come up with the lyrics for something, just seeing how their mind works can now inform how you create, which then just makes for a stronger artist and a better song, you know?
No, and that's so true. And it kind of goes back to the 10,000 hour, rule, that in order to like really be like an expert in your field, you have to put in minimum 10,000 hours. And I know that you are way past that. You put in way more than 10,000 hours. But I think a lot of the times when we're starting off as artists, we don't realize like how much we actually have to put in. And it's like, even just creating music, that's only one part of the process and stuff. And that's been like a whoa moment for me and stuff like that. Cause I'm like, oh, I don't just go and make my music and put it out and just hope it goes to where it needs to go. It's like, no, there's so many other things that you need to know about. And I feel like that's why it also probably worked in your advantage a lot, that you are an expert in marketing too. So that's probably helped a lot with your journey of becoming an artist. And all that stuff, and really just knowing how to connect with people and the right ways to, market yourself, because at the end of the day, like as artists, we also are creating a brand for ourselves.
Totally. I wouldn't say that I'm an expert. I wouldn't say that I've done everything right. A lot of it is best practices. I had a conversation with a friend who deals with digital marketing, and they had told me that there's no right or wrong way to do something. There's best practices, because what works for one artist may not work for another one. And there are definitely staples and foundations to marketing that need to be there, but how you approach things is very different. And I think that with anything in life, you're constantly trying, and it's trial and error. And you're going to have a lot more no's, and you're going to have a lot more failures than you have successes. But each one of these things is teaching you something new that can help inform the next step that you take.
Yeah, no, definitely. That is, guys, I don't know if you guys are taking notes. These are gems right here. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I'm definitely going to be watching this over.
or go to my YouTube channel, where I have vlogs where I talk about a variety of different topics. We haven't been able to film any in the last little while here, just for the fact that we're working on a project that I can't really speak about. But there's a project that we're working on that has consumed most of my summer. But go to there. There's a lot of vlogs that talk about a lot of important issues or I shouldn't say important issues, important topics that you as an artist may need to be aware of, whether it's SOCAN information, whether it's I'm not even thinking right now, but there's a lot of information on there. Arlo Maverick at youtube.com/Arlo Maverick.
Guys, go and check it out. Like, artists, if you guys are not an artist, but you're like, someone who's an artist, let them know, because let's share the information, spread it, because I'm not even kidding, y'all. Arlo knows his stuff, even though he's very humble and he says he's not an expert. I believe that he's an expert.
Humility is important.
So what would you say is your most memorable performance and your most memorable / favorite collaboration to date?
Wow, most memorable performance. Wow, there's a lot. There's a lot of performances that have been memorable. If I were to give one, though, wow. Okay, I've got to think of one.
This is when they all rush.
Yeah, when they all come rush into your head, and you're just like, oh man, what do I say? Okay. Okay, what was the second question?
Okay, your favorite collaboration to date.
My favorite collaboration. Wow.
2 hard questions.
But you know what? That one's a little easier still. There's a song off of off of I would say two. Okay, one of them, if I'm looking at the Arlo Maverick catalog, probably my favorite collaboration of in the Arlo Maverick catalog would have to be Too Many Twos. A track that I did with K Riz. How that song came together, just the beat for it. Like, shouts out to Motorbike James who did the production on that, and just the writing process for that was really fascinating, because I actually had a writing retreat where I just went away to Toronto for a couple of weeks and spent time at my cousin's place and just like wrote most of Maybe Tomorrow. And what ended up coming together was major. And what's crazy about it is that at the point in time that we were actually working on that song, K Riz was on the fence about letting people know that he was a singer. So initially he didn't want to be credited as being the singer on the track. I'm like, yo, dude, people need to know that you're a singer. And now he's a lot more comfortable and an amazing singer. But there's something about that track where, whether it's listening to the track itself and what we did, or those moments where we perform it live on stage, that it just really connects with people, because the lyrics are so honest and it's such a dense track when you think about it. Like, there's so many layers, and it speaks to what we all go through, in the sense of sometimes feeling like we're never enough for somebody. We're either too skinny, or we're too this, or too that. And so, and as far as favorite performance, Into My Natalie just reminded me of Troy Barr. Shouts out to Namso, though, TOA in the building.
Yes.
Troy Barr, I totally forgot about that. But yeah, okay, hold on. Let me jump to the Politics Lab song, because I forgot that I want to say my favorite collaboration would probably be, I would have to say, probably Blocko. Now, Blocko is a song off of our second album, Adaptation, and we feature Uzi on it, and it's us just paying tribute to our Caribbean roots, and it became a song that became like one of the anthems that we had to perform all the time at shows. And so just that collaboration, working with Uzi, working with my cousins Gritty and Bigga, to create that song was just like a real magical moment. And anytime we perform it, like, it's one of those things where if you're a Politics Live fan, like, you know it, and so like you wait for those parts where you get to be part of the song, you know. So definitely that. Now, dealing with performances, I'm gonna give you guys two as well. So Politics Live. So when it comes to Arlo Maverick, definitely Troy Barr. The Maybe Tomorrow album opened up a lot of doors for me to get over into Europe. And so I had the opportunity to go to a lot of places throughout Europe in the last 4 years before the pandemic. And one of the places we were able to go to was a place called Troy Barr in London. And the vibe, the energy, the atmosphere is crazy. And the first time we went there, I performed my song More. And the band that so pretty much, let me set this up, all right? You have a room full of people that are just there to enjoy music, right? Music lovers, and they are very loving, very, 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 just, they're all about that vibe, right? Now, the way Troy Barr is set up is that it's not your typical performance. What ends up happening is that you sign up to perform, and there's a band that's there, and you have background vocalists, and they go through a list of artists throughout the night, and they call people up. They serve Jamaican food, so the food is good. And again, and as you get called up to the stage, you do one song, right? Now, when you go up there, you let the band know kind of like the vibe that you're going with. If you're a guitar player, then you can basically just play it, and the band will kind of catch the vibe and start playing, right? So I'm a hip hop MC. First time in London, and I'm just like, yo, kind of give them the vibe of what I'm going for. And so the band starts playing. I mean, like, these guys are amazing musicians. And the cool thing with London is that the musicians who play like a place like Troy Barr, who are just love music, are the same dudes who will be on tour with Adele or whomever is coming through the tour. So these guys are like some heavy hitters. So they're playing the beat, and the audience is rocking with it, and I'm rapping with it, and like the love that I was getting from the audience. And then what's cool about it is that as the band begins to catch the vibe, so we're all just in the pocket, just jamming and so on and so forth. And then you have the background vocalists who catch the vibe with the chorus, so they start singing along with the chorus as well too. And it was really dope still because as you guys might be able to see here, I've got my Arlo Maverick hoodie on, and when
Yes.
people look at the hoodie, they don't know that the R and the L are together, so they think my rap name is Aro, but it's actually Arlo. So we came up with this chant thing where we go A-R-L-O, just in case y'all didn't know. And I literally had the whole place chanting that during
Wow.
this segment here, and I was just like, wow, this is a beautiful moment still, you know?
That's
So,
incredible.
yeah.
No, that is so incredible. And it's perfect that you brought up your trip to Europe. So can you tell us about that experience? Like, how did you get presented with that opportunity?
Okay. And this is another reason why people need to go to the vlogs that I have, because as I learn things, and this is something that I think is very important, is that as I learn things on my journey, I create these vlogs in order to share them with other people, because I don't want to be the only artist out of Edmonton having success. I want to see other people have success, and I want to see other people avoid the mistakes or the missteps that I have made or that other people have made. So there is a vlog that talks about showcasing, and showcasing is how I got into Europe. So initially the first showcase that I did overseas was a third-party showcase in the south of France in a place called Cannes, right?
Oh.
And it a beautiful Mediterranean, like it was crazy. So that was my introduction to Europe. Prior to that, I had done showcases here in Canada. And so I'm going to give you guys both perspectives on how this ended up happening, right?
Mhm.
Now, the Cannes showcase is a third-party showcase, so it's not part of the festival, but someone else who's connected or affiliated with the festival will basically throw a showcase and it'll be like, okay, here's this showcase for artists who are here. Come and check it out. So at that point in time, you're over there, and there's grants to help cover all this stuff, which I talk about on my vlog. So make sure you go over there and check it out. But there were grants provided that allowed me to get over there. And then as I'm over there, I'm attending the music conference, because there's a conference component to it where you're learning so much about the music industry, but you're also connecting with whether it's industry people or artists. And so I'm making these connections, making these relationships. And one of the people who had put me on to the showcase over there was someone who actually hooked me up with some tour dates. And I mentioned that because of the fact that as artists, we have to look up for one another, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that person that puts me onto this opportunity and lets me know about the showcase, which then puts me into a situation where now, from that one showcase that I did in Medem, that opened up the doors for me to then get into London, because I met somebody out there who's like, yo, you need to go to London. They've got this going on, they're going that going on. This is who you talk to make that happen, right? So that's part of how I got into London. And I share that because with every one of the showcases that we've done, like the second one we did after that same year was actually in South Korea. And when we went to South Korea, I had the opportunity to talk to a gentleman by the name of Andy Jones, who runs a festival in Wales called Focus Wales. And with that, he was able to see our showcase in South Korea. And then he ended up saying, hey, apply for our showcase. Would love to bring you out there. Applied. The following year, we're out there. So you can apply for international festivals, but at the same time, though, you can also apply for domestic showcases. So whether it be Breakout West or Canadian Music Week or North by Northeast, like these are opportunities for you to A, connect with other artists, B, showcase your stuff. And when I say showcase, what I mean is that you're putting on a performance where then you're inviting people who might be managers, people who might be publicists, people who might be supervisors or other festival buyers, to essentially see your performance. And then if they like what they see, they'll connect and be like, hey, we need to do this, we need to do that. And based off of like, the cool thing about it is that in Western Canada, we have Breakout West. It's also known as the Western Canadian Music Awards, right? And the great thing with them is that they have allowed for artists to perform at a showcase that is reduced in size, but you're still getting a lot of like important people coming out of there. And these important people might want to sign you. They might want to say, hey, like for example, Moraine, who's from Edmonton, doing a lot of good things right now. He actually was spotted by his management team at a showcase that he did roughly about 2 years ago. So these things lead to opportunities, but artists have to be willing to get out there. And as I said, there are grants available through whether it be Canada Council, whether it be Factor, whether it be Alberta Music or Alberta Foundation for the Arts. Like, as Canadians, we have all this funding that allows us to act on these opportunities. So it's not just me just having luck and trying to keep it to myself. It's me realizing that the hard work that I'm putting in, I want other people to actually access this stuff. And shouts out to Moraine, because this dude, no matter what I say to him, whether it sounds stupid or not, he's like, yo, Arlo's my big homie. I'm gonna listen to what he says. And through that, he's been able to navigate this whole music industry. And for me, I look at it from the standpoint of I want to see more of it doing good. I see my homie Joey Dirt in here. He's got a new project coming out. So
okay,
I want to see all of us do good. You know?
No, I love that. No, that is so awesome. Like, guys, like, I don't know if y'all are taking this all in, but this is like, you guys need to take notes. Go check out the YouTube channel. Like, I don't know. I know that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. But I know, like, and subscribe, y'all. Like, everything, like, do everything. Like the video, comment, subscribe, do everything, please. But it's so true, because I think a lot of the time, like, we don't realize how much resources are available, because even with grants and stuff, I just started like learning about the grants that are available and stuff like that, like this past couple of years. But now, like, even because I'm a part of C Tribe and stuff, I've been trying to dig deeper to really figure out, okay, what is involved. And like, I just learned about Factor Canada. And I realize that's actually a lot of people, a lot of artists do know, but a lot of artists don't know that they even exist and stuff. And so there's so many resources, and I'm like, I don't want to keep this inside for myself, because I know that, like, I've struggled myself as an artist to figure out, okay, where do I go? How do I access the help? Even funding, like, funding is huge. It is huge, 100%. Huge. It is not easy to make a project, even to put out one song. It is not something that is easily done, especially when you're doing it on your own pocket, out of your own pocket. But when
if I can give you a gem, sorry to interrupt.
No, please.
And I have a vlog about this, and I'm going to keep mentioning the vlogs, because I feel that a lot of artists have all these questions, and then they don't know who to go to. And it's like, hey, I label the vlogs. I haven't really been putting them into playlists like I was, but just look at the titles and look at the description, and it'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about. But one of the vlogs that I've created talks about music industry associations, so MIAs. And what an MIA is that every single province in Canada has what's called a music industry association. So here in Alberta, we have Alberta Music. In BC, they have BC Music, Manitoba Music, so on and so forth. And these organizations advocate on the behalf of artists. So if you have questions, become a member, so then that way you can actually ask them about, hey, what grants are available. They send you newsletters that keep you up to date with any opportunities that are coming up. They also have different initiatives that they just push artists. Coming up in roughly about sometime next month, I don't know the exact date, but every October they do a push for artists to submit for what's called the Edmonton Music Prize. And with the Edmonton Music Prize, they have a long list and a short list, right? So their short list is usually roughly around 7 artists, and then they'll have the 3 that'll be for their short list. And what they do is that they award the first place artist $8,000, second place artist $2,000, and the third place artist $3,000, right? And this can go to whatever they want to do it, whatever they want to use it for. The way that you apply for this is that you've had to put out a project within a certain time span, and they'll list it off and everything like that. And what they do is that they have a jury that then goes and listens to all the music, and then they say, okay, well, these are the albums that we feel are great. These are the albums that we feel that have really done good. And they also look at what have you been doing in the sense of your body of work, touring regimen, your online presence, maybe it's streaming, whatever the case may be. And they create this list. And the good thing about it is that, let me share this first. A lot of artists don't realize that in order to get selected for a possible nomination, you have to have someone nominate you. And it doesn't have to be someone in the industry. It could be anybody. You can go to your mom and be like, Mom, like, please nominate me. That's all that's needed. So I mention that because of the fact that it's funding for artists, but it's an opportunity that a lot of artists aren't aware of that they should be acting on. And sometimes people get intimidated by these opportunities, but don't get intimidated by these opportunities. Opportunities are there for you to actually grow. If they say no, they say no, but at least you tried. So act on it. Alberta Music is our music industry association here in the city. I used to sit on the board, and I know about the great things that they do. You know, and granted, it's COVID, so they're not able to do as much. But if more artists, especially from our genres of hip hop and R&B and reggae, all than that, then now we could actually have more critical conversations in regards to how do we make sure that there's representation for our genres at these things here. Because a lot of times it's not people don't want to represent us, they just don't know how to represent us. And then there's a disconnect because we know that we need the resources, they have the resources, but we're not going to them and saying, hey, how do we get involved? How do we become a board member? How do we have a presence so that way you guys are now creating initiatives that include us? And I say that, and I know a lot of people will be like, man, they're not going to blah, blah, blah. The Western Canadian Music Awards, Breakout West, we talked about that earlier. At one point in time, they had the Outstanding Urban Recording, which basically put hip hop, R&B, reggae, soca, all of that together in one category. We voiced our concerns with that. And they said, if you can get enough nominations, we will create a second category. So did a campaign for roughly 2 or 3 years. And then we were able to get the urban category, but then we were able to get a separate hip hop category. And now, how many years later, they have a hip hop category and an R&B category. And then they're still working on the reggae thing. But at the same time, though, I'm using that example for artists to understand that we have to be part of the process. If we are part of the process, we can begin to see things change. We live in Alberta, which is a predominantly country and rock genre-based province. So that doesn't mean that we can't get involved and actually shake things up to the point that now they're representing us. But we just have to get involved.
I don't know about y'all, but I am amped up, guys. Like this is some incredible information. I can definitely agree with you with the Alberta Music, because just before COVID actually is when I really tapped into them, because I got invited to one of their events, and I got the opportunity to speak with one of the I believe one of the coordinators there, and just really talk and voice my concerns and stuff like that with, you know, why maybe necessarily I haven't necessarily put myself in certain environments, because I thought, okay, I'm not going to be heard and whatnot. But when I actually spoke to her, she was like, no, like, we want to hear like what your concerns are. We want to know how we can help our community, because that's what they're here for. Like, that's what they're doing. And I was like, wow, like a lot of the times, like, we sometimes create the barriers for ourselves because
totally.
So we're like, no, this is gonna happen. This is how they're gonna respond. But a lot of the times it's like, no, like the worst thing that can happen is no. But if you don't actually take that step forward, then you're not even allowing any doors to be open and any changes to happen.
Oh yeah, and if I say two things in regards to that, one is, if you're alone, gather up all the people that you have those conversations with about the struggles you're going through with the music industry, and bring them with you to actually have a united front. Because when we start working together collectively, then it's going to be harder for people to say no to us, because a lot of times they just assume, well, there's only one or two, but no, we have a huge, vibrant scene. So let's be more involved. That way we have a presence. Second thing is, I'm going to let you guys know about another thing. They have a micro grant right now for $1,500 that you can apply through Alberta Music. The deadline, if I'm not mistaken, is the end of September. So if you have not applied for that yet, then apply for that, because it's $1,500 that can go towards helping you during this time period where artists are struggling to get shows. Like with the new restrictions, we're probably going to see shows slow down again. So maybe it's you have a project you're trying to finish up. Maybe it's to market a project you got coming out right now. Hit them up for the micro grant. That's $1,500. It's a small amount, but every bit counts, you know?
Guys, like, I don't know how much better it can get, okay? I don't even know how much better it can get, okay? Artists. I don't. You better be taking notes, y'all. You better be taking notes. That's all I'm gonna say. So can you tell us what your biggest struggle has been as a creative and entrepreneur?
Wow. My biggest struggle. I think that as a creative, sometimes not being able to communicate what you're trying to communicate. I recently listened to CJSR, for those who are not familiar, is a radio station based out of the University of Alberta here in Edmonton. And currently they have this thing, it's a limited podcast series, first season, called High Level Hip Hop, right? And within two of the interviews, they talk about, this is a brother by the name of Tom and a brother by the name of B-Boye. As they're doing their interviews, one of them is with CX to the World, and I think the other one was with Thug Shells. They talk about the gap between what you hear in your head as far as what you're trying to create and where your talent level is at. And I think that has been my biggest struggle, in the sense of having these ideas, but then getting to the point of being able to execute those other ideas, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, hone your skill, you keep working at it, but it's like, it's one of those situations where the goalpost keeps moving, because as you actually catch up to this goal, now you have another goal of something that's in your head that you're trying to execute that you can't necessarily execute. So it's an ongoing thing in the sense of trying to perfect what I do. And especially, and I know people think I'm exaggerating when I say this, but when I used to volunteer at CJSR, I had a show called the Urban Hang Suite. And through that show, I pushed a lot of local artists. People would send me stuff, and I would be active in the sense of searching for music. And so a lot of the music that was in my playlist was Edmonton-based hip hop or R&B or reggae artists. And what I found is that there was so much good music from the city here. And when you hear things like that, two things begin to happen. One, you get inspired.
Yeah.
Second thing that happens is that you realize that you have to step your game up, right? And whether it's K-Riz, whether it's Moraine, whether it's Uzi La, whether it's K Blitz, whether it's Doom Squad, whether it's anybody out there, even you, Daisy, like there's artists that make you rise to the occasion, because it's just like, I want to be just as good as them, right? And some people may look at it from the standpoint of competition is bad. Competition is bad when you start sabotaging other people's means to success. But when you see someone do something, you're just like, hey, I want to be just as good or better. It's needed, because then you raise the bar, and then that person there or another person then raises the bar. And all it does is keep pushing everyone to keep elevating with what we do, right? And when we have competition that's healthy like that, then we create megastars. We create art that can live forever, you know? But when we look at it from the standpoint of, I'm doing good, I don't want this person to do good because I want to be the only one, what ends up happening is that we end up stifling our ability to grow, because you need a community around you to grow, you know?
No, 110%. Like, I'm just here listening, y'all, because I'm trying to take this all in, because
shouts out to Noble Mills.
yes. Like, honestly, like, I'm shooketh. That's all I can say, guys. That is my word of the month. Shooketh. But I know, like, you have so much incredible insight, and I know that you mentioned that you've mentored youth and other people in the community. So can you tell us how you became a mentor, and how someone can like get in touch with you for these opportunities?
Okay, so mentorship is something that I think has always just been around me, and I tend to model what I see. Whether it be my grandma just being someone who would always like tell me things that I didn't know I needed to know. Whether it was when I was younger, there was a brother by the name of Tani, and he was a little older than me, and he knew that I loved basketball. No one wanted me to play basketball because I sucked at basketball, right? And he told me, he's like, hey, this is when I was younger, they used to call me PA, right? Because that was like a rap name, Plan A, right? And so he said, he's like, PA, if you really want to learn how to play ball, I want you to come to my house every single morning, and and this is summertime, right? So he's like, every single morning, and I'm gonna take you through drills, so on and so forth. And like he literally did that, where it's just like I would hop on my bike, ride to his house, then we would ride our bikes over to the ball course, and he'd take me through drills, shooting, so on and so forth. And it got to the point where I was going to schools and just knocking down threes, and like I was able to develop my skill. And I use that as an example, not to say that I'm a great basketball player, because I don't play ball anymore. But I use that as an example because somebody saw something in me and realized that I needed someone I needed someone to be able to be a mentor to this potential that I had, you know? And that has fortunately come up so many times throughout my life. So for me, I always look at it from the standpoint of, I want to be that to somebody else, right?
Yeah.
I want to be that person that someone says, yo, like no one else believed in me, but this guy said, hey, if I'm willing to do the work, I am willing to show you what to do, you know? And so, it's always just been something that I've done, in the sense of, again, much like my grandmother, telling people things that they don't know that they need to know, but letting them know before they know it. And sometimes it makes me come off as a know-it-all. Sometimes it makes me come off as someone who should mind his own business. But later on, what ends up happening is that person's just like, oh, shoot, I remember Arlo saying something about this, and then it ends up helping them. So for me, it's a situation of being active, and especially as Black men, being active in showing that, like, there's all these stereotypes of what we are that isn't true. How about we start reinforming who we are, and also modeling who we can be to younger Black kids who are coming up. Shouts out to Keon, the artist, in the back doing his thing, you know?
No, and that is big. Like, that is so big, and I love that, like, because, you know, it's all about, okay, we're gaining all this knowledge, we're gaining all this expertise. What are we doing with it? Like, we really want to, like, even with Expose, our mission is we want to make it easier for future generations to be seen, to be heard, to connect, to collaborate with each other. And honestly, I feel like that is a lot of our goals here. And it just makes me so happy to hear that from other community leaders, because it's like, yes, like, I know that, you know, when my little grows up and say he wants to go into music or be a creative in some type of way, or an entrepreneur, I know that the ecosystem, our foundation, is being built. And all we can do is keep growing on top of that. And so I just love it. Like, I love to hear that, because that's what it's all about. How can we give back and make it easier for future generations to succeed?
Totally.
Because we've struggled through it. It's been hard.
Yes. And what's fascinating about this, and the project that the project that I can't really speak on, that by Natalie and I are working on, is one that is going to show you that the hip hop scene and the music scene, as far as Black music in Edmonton, was thriving in the early 90s, to the point that there was an act by the name of the Maximum Definitive. And in the coming months, the coming years, you're going to hear a lot about these guys, hopefully through the channels that we're trying to create. But these brothers were like megastars at one point in time. And situations happen. We'll get into that with the project that we're talking about. But that foundation, and the foundation that was built by other artists like Quick Trouble and Task Force and so on and so forth throughout the city, like Reality was this one reggae band in the city, that foundation wasn't built upon. There was no mentorship that would take place after that, because a lot of those artists were forced to leave the city because there was no opportunities here. So the first decade of the millennium is when we start seeing a foundation being built, and it's still being built, right? And hopefully 20 years from now, we won't be in a situation where we're having to start from scratch. Hopefully we're in a situation where we've established ourselves, whether it's having a situation where we have artists who are now getting Junos from here, you know, who are touring and are internationally known. Like shouts out to Cadence Weapon, who has done amazing things to put Edmonton on the map and Alberta on the map. But we need to have more than just one Cadence Weapon. We need to actually get to the point where an artist like Moraine is known throughout the world. An artist like Deuce Fantastic is known throughout the world. An artist like Trips is known throughout the world. An artist like Nova Mills is known throughout the world. Joey Dirt, Selassie, all these artists here, like we have to get behind them. But in order for us to do that, they've got to be able to work their asses off to make sure that any support that we provide to them is going to be not just incremental, but something that just pushes them over the edge, right? Now, in doing so, we have to lay a foundation. And we are laying the foundation. Things like this create a foundation. Things like sharing opportunities and sharing information build a foundation. Things like connecting with each other and like just creating these platforms and also getting involved with a lot of these organizations. Because if I bring it back to an organization like Alberta Music, they are getting funding from taxpayers' dollars in order to support the arts. So if we are not a part of that, if we are not being active in working with organizations like that, then we're shooting ourselves in the foot. Because why reinvent the wheel when it's not to say that we can't have our own organizations, but at the same time, though, let's work with these organizations so that we could actually utilize their resources to help build up our scene, because they're doing that with country, they're doing that with folk, they're doing that with rock. So they should be able to do that with hip hop. They should be able to do that with R&B. They should be able to do that with reggae, Afrobeat, whatever the case may be. But if they are not within our community socializing with us, then we have to go to them and be like, hey, we are here. Let's connect. Let's build, you know?
I'm shooketh, like I said. I'm shooketh. I'm like, can I just keep letting you talk? No, but it is so true. Like you're just stating facts, like, because it's so true. We can't just wait for the opportunity to come to us. We have to go out and grab them and make it happen.
And also understanding that we have the ability to create our own opportunities. Yes, there are opportunities where we'll have to work with other people or work with different organizations. But at the same time, though, like when I look at, and I'll bring you guys back, there was an event in the city here called Hip Hop for Hunger that started back in like 2002, right? And that's something that my crew, Politic Live, Music for Maverick, started. And at the time that we had started it, there wasn't annual hip hop events. We'd have hip hop shows here and there, so on and so forth. But we saw that there was a need for something. And also it raised food donations for the Edmonton Food Bank. So now we begin to change the psyche of hip hop in Edmonton, where it's just like, okay, well, we have this power, we have this influence, as minute as it may be. But if we can actually put on a show that feeds this many families, then we're onto something. Because we're allowing for our music to be presented in a way that allows us to be professional, but at the same time, though, we're also giving back, and not just giving back with lip service, but giving back with actual tangibles, you know?
No, 100%, guys.
So I say that to say that was an opportunity that we created, and there's multiple examples of people creating opportunities. Like if you look at Calgary, which is the neighboring city to us, for those who may not be aware, you have initiatives like 10 at 10. Yes. They created something that was needed. You have people who are Melanistic Magazine, who are creating opportunities. The hoodie you're wearing right now, looking at that is a group of brothers and sisters who are creating opportunities. And we need to have more people thinking like that, because when we create opportunities, that means that we don't have to leave and move to another city and hope that they'll accept our ideas. We can build something here that ends up outdoing what other parts of the world are doing when it comes to art. And it's not to say that we should never leave here, because obviously this is home base, right? And a lot of people have asked why I've never left. I love Edmonton, right? I was born in Toronto, but I was raised out here. I love Edmonton, but I want it to get to a point where I could always be based out of here and travel the world and act as an ambassador, where people are just like, yo, like when let's say I touch down in
in Holland.
Yeah.
Shouts out to Rotterdam, New School Rules. If I touch down there, they should be able to say, "You're from Edmonton? Yo, you guys got the craziest hip hop scene. I know about this MC. I know about that MC." That's what we say about LA. That's what we say about New York. That's what we say about London when it comes to Skepta and all those guys there. So why can't we do that for Edmonton? We just have to believe in it, work with each other, and continue to hone our skill and be consistent and work hard at what we do.
No, 100%. Can you tell us what your long-term goal is as a creative?
Oh, well, what's fascinating is that I feel like every 5 years or so, I kind of reinvent myself, right? And no one notices because I just do too much and it all kind of gets blurted, right? But I feel that the pandemic put me in a position where I was able to explore filmmaking. And within the last year and change now, I've been able to direct and edit a bunch of music videos. And currently we're working on a docuseries by Natalie and myself. And that has become something that has been a really huge blessing. And the reason why I say that is because through music, I've been storytelling. Through journalism, I've been storytelling. Through my radio show, I've been storytelling. Through mentorship, I've been storytelling. All these different things. But here I am now with the ability to create motion pictures that tell stories. And we talk about representation matters. We talk about how we have to be able to change the narratives and tell our narratives. And so for me, it's a situation of understanding this medium of film and going in there and really shaking things up. And that might be where I pivot, still gonna do music. Like music has always been a part of what I do because I love emceeing, I love rocking the stage, I love writing music, but the passion that I have for filmmaking is something that has always been there, but I haven't had the time to actually dive into it. And again, the pandemic opened up an opportunity for me to be like, I was laid off for 7 months, and I took that as a blessing in disguise because I began to understand, and fortunately I had mentors who were willing to show me the ropes when it comes to film, and I'm still developing it. It's still something that I'm working hard towards. But the point that I'm trying to make is that I want to be able to change the narratives, because I feel that right now as Black people, we are letting other people tell our stories. And as Black people, we're letting other people hire us to play roles that completely depict us as what we are not. Not to say there's not dysfunction within our communities, but there's not as much dysfunction as we see all across media. So we can actually just get in there and now start writing stories that show the beauty, writing stories that show the strength, that show the resilience, that show that we're just regular people who just happen to have a different flavor,
Yes.
We're able to do that. And I think that begins to change how we see each other, which is the most important thing. We have to see each other as being intelligent, as being strong, as being resourceful, as being beautiful. We have to see that first.
Yeah.
Then we have to make the rest of the world see that. Because when we get on the same page, then it completely changes the whole idea of us moving as a unit. But because a lot of times we start believing the same images that we see, and sometimes we start imitating a lot of the images that are created not by us, but for us, then we start having a negative impression of who we are. But if I could play a role in creating stuff that is artistic and entertaining without it being demeaning or degenerative, then and still entertaining, because that's the thing, like there's a way to make something entertaining without it being boring or without it being corny. But it takes skill, and it takes surrounding yourself with people who will help you get to that point there. And I'm working towards that. So that's pretty much where I'm going to pivot to as far as my creativity goes for the next little while here.
Okay, so guys, if you are not following Arlo, like if you guys weren't already at the beginning, or you didn't as soon as you hopped on this, then you need to go and follow, because as you can hear, he is doing some incredible things. There's a lot of things that are going to be coming out. Like, he is more than just an artist. Like, he is a creative, he is an entrepreneur. Like, incredible, incredible, incredible. Like, thank you for all that you do for the community. I'm going to say that now, I'm going to say it again later. But no, thank you so
You're
much.
welcome,
Like,
you're welcome.
because you are an incredible community leader here. You have opened up so many doors for so many artists, and just showing us that it's possible. Like, we don't have to think like, you know, I'm in Edmonton, opportunities aren't here. Like, even like for how long I've been following you, I'm like, yeah, like, I'm motivated whenever I see you post something, whenever I see a release, whenever I see that you put out a new vlog, or you have a new collaboration that you're working on. It's incredible what you're doing, and just every single time how you just involve the community and bring it back in full circle. Like, it's just incredible. It is absolutely incredible, and I know it is not something that is easy to do, but you are doing such an incredible job, and I'll just say that.
Thank you. And
no problem.
I plan to do more, because there's a lot of work ahead of us, and I think that when we realize the strength that we have in numbers, then things begin to change, right? And when we realize that the differences that we think we have, we don't really have them, you know? Yes, we may have a difference of opinion, but there's so many things that we agree on. We agree on more things than we disagree on. So I think that the importance of connecting with people and sharing stories, and that's the biggest thing. It's like, I'm a storyteller, and music and now film are my mediums to tell stories and connect with people. So yeah, thank you.
No problem. Just facts, no fiction. So can you share with everyone listening, how can someone access your music? I know that you mentioned your YouTube, but do you mind just mentioning it again so everybody knows where to go to check out, you know, your projects and all that good stuff?
Yes. So if you go to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/Arlo Maverick, you'll see interviews on there. You'll see music videos on there. You'll see my short films on there, which often double as music videos. You'll see the vlogs on there where I talk about a variety of topics. A lot of things that's talked about today are on there. You'll also see performances with my band, and just some cool things on there. On Spotify, I'm on there as well too. Just look up Arlo Maverick, Bandcamp, SoundCloud, pretty much every platform where you could actually access music. And obviously, if you're on Instagram, you know that I'm here. On Facebook, but not as much though. And I apologize to everyone who follows me on Facebook. Hi guys. I am horrible at maintaining multiple platforms. And then to make it worse, I haven't been posting that much on Instagram because I've been working on a project. And the thing that I've come to realize, and I had a conversation with Bobby T, shout out to Bobby T, sometimes as creators, because of the fact that we have the ability to share our worlds and share what we're doing and promote in a way that we've never had it before. Like artists of the 80s and 90s would have loved having the tools that we have, but artists of the 80s and 90s also were able to focus more on creating because they didn't have to be in front of a camera all the time saying, hey, I'm doing this, hey, I'm doing that. So over the last couple months here, I released a project in July that I haven't even really had a chance to promote because the project that I'm working on had forced me to switch gears. And the thing about it is that what I've come to realize is that there's nothing wrong with creating because that's what I'm supposed to do, you know? Promoting is what we do when the product is done. And that balance is really important because you definitely want to check in. And that's one thing I just try to stress upon artists is that you still have to connect. You still have to like share things here and there. But when it gets to the point where you're sharing and spending more time trying to cultivate content to share on your page, then you're actually cultivating the art that you're supposed to be creating, then there's a problem with that, you know? And so finding that balance isn't easy. Obviously, if you have a team like Drake, doesn't worry about that. You know, Drake has a team of people that allow him to be who he needs to be for his audience, right?
Yeah.
But independents like you and I, we have our day-to-day stuff, and then we have our artist stuff, and but then we have to promote our artist stuff. And sometimes that can become a bit of a juggling act, and sometimes we may disappear for a bit. But again, this past summer has taught me that the importance of creating should never be forgotten, you know, and the art marketing is so important. And shouts out to Alibi. Damn, Johnny Alibi. Okay, so those who may not know, I'm gonna give a shout out to this dude here. Johnny Alibi from the city of Edmonton has produced for my group and Uzi La and a whole bunch of other people. Recently just had a production credit on the brand new Drake album. And it's so crazy to talk about Drake. So we never gave him his flowers when he was here, which is what we always do. We always wait till somebody blows up. So shouts out to Alibi. Amazing producer, has done a bunch of stuff, but to know that an artist or a producer from the city can actually be connected with such greatness as Drake, that's a huge, huge accomplishment.
Yes.
And we need to get behind the people who are creating in the city before they get to that point. So everybody from, again, I'm going to shout them out. Moraine, K-Riz, Nova Mills, anybody. Shouts out to the Maverick team. You know, rest in peace to Black Baseball too. But we need to get behind our artists before they have to leave and try to find opportunities somewhere else, you know, because they're our own. So let's treat them like they're our own. The same way when Drake drops the new album, everyone's posting and saying, yo, have you checked out the new? That's what we should be doing. K-Riz has a new project coming out. When he drops that, share the artwork. Let people know your favorite songs from the project, because then that way we build community. But we always do it with the bigger artists because it's expected of us. But why are we not doing it for the people who actually need it? No disrespect to Drake. Drake is an amazing artist who has fans all over the place. And yes, his music resonates with you. But if you sit down and you hear a track from an artist who's in the city and you're just like, yo, this really hits me, post that. And give the artists in your city an opportunity to create, to have those moments where you're just like, yo, like, I'm gonna put this in my Instagram bio. I'm gonna tweet this lyric, because there are lyrics from artists in our city that are quotable, that we don't actually give them the opportunity to actually be resonated or be seen. But we do that with Drake, and part of it is just like, we want to be part of that moment, but let's create our own moments by creating our own stars. We can create the next Drake out of our city, out of our province.
100%.
We just have to get behind that Drake. We just have to get behind that artist. But we're too busy getting behind other artists when we could get behind our own and still be behind Drake. There's nothing wrong with that. But what I'm saying is that let's utilize that same energy to push our own artists as well, you know?
Yes. And you know, it's perfect because it goes into my next question that I have for you. Can you tell us your top 5 local businesses, creatives?
My top 5, what, sorry?
Local businesses / creatives. So a little shout out time.
Okay. Well, since they said louder for the people in the back, love connection out.
Yes!
One thing, I love my chocolate sweater, man. I love my chocolate sweater.
Right? I was looking for it, but I think it's in the wash.
I love what that whole team is doing. It's amazing because I think that we've always needed teams like that, initiatives like that are out there just like capturing the culture. Because the thing that's so fascinating about culture is that when we document it and we present it in a way that's proper, people gravitate to it. And from the events, and obviously like they can't throw events like they used to, but when you look at some of the events that these brothers and sisters were throwing prior to the pandemic, they're capturing culture and they are allowing for culture to be at the forefront, you know? Another group of people who are doing that is the 5 Artists One Love team. Like Darren Jordan just celebrated 15 years. 15 years. I'm gonna say it louder for the people in the back. 15 years. And the cool thing with Five Artists One Love is that I talk about creating opportunities. Darren Jordan saw that there was a lack of Black visual artists being represented in the mainstream or just represented, period. And he's like, this has to change. And over 15 years, the man has created something that has gotten to the point where right now at the AGA, you can go and see Black visual artists. And that's just, they're just beginning. Yeah. They're just beginning. So shouts out to them. Who else? Melanistic Magazine, which is, again, like they're documenting the culture in the sense of allowing us to see profiles on people and allowing us to learn things about our Blackness from this province. Like, that's something that was unheard of at one point in time. And magazines are not an easy industry to go into because you deal a lot with ads. You gotta create the ad revenue in order to keep printing off these copies that are given out for free. So shouts out to them for actually creating something that has really allowed for our culture to be preserved, because we come from a culture of orators, but we have to keep in mind that we also come from a culture that actually documented things, and we never talk about the documentation. We often leave it up to storytelling, and storytelling is a part of it, but documenting our history and capturing these moments in time is so important. So shouts out to Melanistic Magazine for that. Who else? Shouts out to Wilmar. Shouts out to Wilmar Barbershop, Wilmar Salon, Afro Latino brother who's just like doing some amazing things. Shouts out to who else? Wow, drawing a blank. Shouts out to Exposed YEG.
Thank you.
Nah, for real. Shouts out to you guys because of the fact that, like, we need things like this. You know, like the discourse we're having right now is something that we should be able to tap into and get, and then be able to grow and also build community from that. So shouts out to you for taking the time and having these conversations and doing your research as well too, you know, in the sense of like, let me find a way to highlight this particular thing so that people understand that this person here does this, or that there's this opportunity here. Like, that's so important, you know? Shouts out to Inda by Natalie, who is responsible for so much of the consistency with graphics for me, with the videos. She's the one that shoots them. I direct them. She shoots them and does an amazing job. Plus color correction, plus her body paint. Like it's, so shouts out to her. Bobby T, my dude, man, this guy here. Check out his vlogs, check out his channel, like his Instagram page, because this guy is just like a very forward-thinking brother. Dresses really sharp as well too. Like, he's actually styled into a couple music videos, and that's the only time that I really look good. Normally, I'm just wearing my hoodie. So yeah. And shouts out to the Mavericks team, everybody that allows for this thing that we started many years ago to keep running. You know.
And guys, do not worry. I know you're like, I couldn't write those all down fast enough, but don't worry. We're going to put them down below, okay? So you guys are going to have access to go and learn more about all these amazing creatives and businesses in our community, because I'm telling you.
Shouts out to Soundproof.
Yes.
Studio. Like, there's so many different people that I want to shout out, man.
No.
Kaz, my boy Kaz.
You know, put it out there, because there's so many incredible things happening in the city.
Hip hop in the park. Sorry,
I'm like, keep going. No, there's so many incredible things, and this is just like a very small amount that you've even mentioned and stuff, and it seems like, whoa, like there's all these incredible, and I'm like, guys, I'm telling you, this is a small fraction of what is here in our own community. Like, you just got to be willing to tap into it. Okay. So I have one last question for you. It's my favorite question, and I'm super excited to hear what your answer is to this. But what advice would you give another creative starting out?
Oh, wow. Advice would I give another creative starting out? I think the best advice that I can give to them is learn as much as you possibly can. And that's in everything from your art to the business side of things. My group, Politic Live, our name represents the balance of business and art. And I think a lot of times artists focus so much on the art and forget about the business, and their careers end up either you get exploited by someone who sees your talent and says, this person here doesn't know enough, so I'm going to exploit them, or you end up not being able to get as far as you would like to get because you don't have the knowledge to open those doors for yourself or build the right team around you. So I think that it's important to learn as much as you can, research, and realize that every day you have to be a sponge. Put yourself in positions where you can learn from other people, and understand that we have this thing now where we only want to learn from people that look like us. Yes, it's great to learn from people that look like you, but it's also great to learn from people who don't look like you. And I mean that in the sense of whether it be their gender, whether it be their race, whether it be their artistic discipline. Because even though I am a musical artist, there's still things that I can learn from other art forms and other people who create those art forms, because their experiences have allowed them to create what they create, or to get them to where they are. And for me to assume, well, you don't understand, it's great for me to be able to, because again, we're trying to be a sponge and gather up as much information as possible. And sometimes people are in positions that allow them to learn things that if you're willing to listen, you'll catch those gems as well too, you know? And I think it's again, just really important to just be in positions that you get to learn as much as possible. And this is why I say getting involved is so important. Like for the time period that I was sitting on the board with Alberta Music, I learned so much about how the back end of the music industry in Alberta and nationally as well too. And I was also learning about things that our community, as far as hip hop, R&B, or reggae, was never aware of. So then I was able to take that information and then share that with the community in a sense of, hey, you know, there's opportunities in this, there's opportunities in that, but I couldn't have gotten that if I wasn't involved. Shouts out to Saint and the 4100 band. He just popped in, so I got to give him a shout out. But I think the biggest thing is just like to learn as much as possible and never think that you know enough, you know? Stay ahead of the curve, because the people who are looking at where technology is going are going to be the ones who have the most success. I'll use an example, Cadence Weapon. Cadence Weapon, a lot of his success came from the fact that he understood that the internet was going to become a very huge means of communication and a huge means of sharing music, so on and so forth, well before that time, you know? Even just understanding the ability to download software and create using your laptop, so on and so forth. Like, being a visionary like that allowed him to go on to do great things. But I feel that in order for someone to be able to do that, they have to put themselves in positions where they're able to learn things that the average person wouldn't be able to learn, you know? So again, just trying to soak up as much as possible and question things, obviously, right? But if someone's talking and they've been on the planet longer than you, if someone's talking and they have more experience than you, listen to what they're saying and also do your own research, but realize that that might be something that actually changes your whole world. But if you want to have blinders on and only listen to yourself, then you might not be able to get somewhere, you know? You might not get to where you want to go to.
Yes. Guys, come on. Like, are you taking notes? Like, incredible. Like, Arlo, thank you so much for coming on here. Thank you so much for sharing your insight, your story. I know it's just like I know we just touched the surface even. But thank you so much for just taking the time to come on here and chat with us. Guys, if you aren't already, make sure you go and follow Arlo, go and subscribe to his YouTube channel, because there is some incredible information on there that I know can benefit absolutely everyone. Okay. So thank you so much. It is a complete pleasure to have you on here. Keep creating. Like, we love what you do. Thank you again for all that you do for the community, and for just, being so involved and being so open to sharing all that you do and your expertise. Like, it is incredible. So thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
No, have a good night, and we will chat soon. Thank you.
All right. Okay. Peace.
Bye. Guys, like, I don't know about y'all, but I am shooketh. Like, that was incredible. Like, Arlo is an amazing community leader. Like, and if you guys are not following him yet, please do. Like, support our community members, like our community leaders. Like, he has been grinding, and like, guys, like, I don't know about y'all, but I am shooketh. Like I said, like, incredible. Like, I'm actually speechless. I don't even know what to say. But that, like, if you're just tuning in, guys, we are going to have this saved. We're going to put all the accounts that were mentioned down below as well, so do not fret. But guys, do not forget tomorrow, okay? We have Featured Friday. So if you have something going on, you want to share what you're doing, or you just want to, be like, this is who I am, send it our way, please. We want to share what you're doing with the community. And also, we have Fresh Friday. So if you have a post or anything, you have an event, anything like that, guys, please send it our way so we can put it up on our story tomorrow, especially because with the restrictions and everything, I know that there's a lot of stuff that's probably going to be slowing down. So let's support our community as much as we can, while we can, especially because we don't really know what the future holds. But guys, thank you so much for rocking with us for episode 23 of Exposed Weekly. I hope you guys gained some incredible insight. I know, like, I'm mind blown. Okay. I know I'm definitely going to go and check out Arlo's videos on YouTube, subscribe, check out all of his music if you haven't, guys, like, and just reach out to him, and like, guys, go and give flowers to our community members, okay? Because as you can see, like, they are putting in work for us so that we can help eliminate barriers, so that it's easier for future generations. It's easier for us artists to move forward and learn and grow. Like, guys, that was an incredible episode. That's all I'll say. That was an incredible episode. Arlo, thank you so much. Thank you so much again. But guys, make sure that you save the date, because we are going to be back next week. Yes, we are actually all booked until like the end of October. So we're going to be here every single week with a new guest. So you guys are going to want to save your evenings for Exposed Weekly, your Thursday evenings. Also, guys, C Tribe Music right now has a competition, the Music Verse competition going on right now. So make sure you guys go check out their page and you vote. We have some incredible local artists that are a part of it. So guys, go and support our community, okay? Go and vote for them, all that good stuff. Guys, like, I'm gonna say again, I'm rocking my Lack Connection Now hoodie. Okay, this is limited edition, so you know what I mean. Like, but I know I look cool, guys. Just stop, okay? No, but I am cozy, y'all. So make sure you guys go and follow our community members, okay? Go and support each other. Share with us what you are doing. Thank you guys so much again for tuning in. Thank you for just being open to hearing what is going on in the community and the amazing and learning from the amazing community leaders that we have. You know what I mean? So thank you guys so much. I hope you have an incredible rest of your evening, and we will see you guys next week on Thursday at a regular time, 7 p.m. for Exposed Weekly episode 24. Have a wonderful night, guys.